Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing? I am on my way to go get Tanya Jean and take her to get a fountain pop. I just got home from my in-laws' house. It was Alex's uncle's birthday. And now I am heading over to Tanya's. Alex is going to bed. It's gonna do this thing with the light again tonight because I had the same stupid white t-shirt on because I just grabbed it. So anyway, I'm sorry, it's really dark tonight. And I am gonna vlog on the way over to Tanya's, and then I'm gonna vlog afterwards, and it's probably gonna be a shorter vlog tonight. I have literally been going all day today, and I have an early day tomorrow, and then I have a long day tomorrow. So yeah, how are you guys doing? Did you like the video of Boo Radley and Steve? All the baby birds, they're getting so big. They're almost too big for the nest, and they're all like sleeping with their heads up right now. They're so cute. Alex is like, they're pooping all over the front porch. So he's like, we need to clean that up. Look how dark it is because I have this white shirt on. Isn't that crazy? I guess I could put both lights on. That looks, I don't like that. I have my last fueling. I'm eating my creamy double peanut butter crisp bar. These are my favorite bars. This is kind of like a little bit of a healthy mukbang. So just bear with me while I'm eating it. I wasn't planning on going over to Alex's mom's, but he got off work and he was like, I'm going over to my mom's. She's throwing like a little birthday party for my uncle. And he was like, do you want to come? And I was still uploading videos. And I was like, well, how long are you going to be there? And he said, probably not long. And I said, no, I think I'm just going to pass. It was just like, she was just having like family over. And then I got stuff done and Alex had texted me. He's like, I'm going to eat something and then I'm going to be home. And I said, okay. I said, I was running to Menards to look at patio furniture for the front porch that I want to get. Which they have what I want at Costco, but it's $450 for these 2 chairs and a table, and I just think that's a little bit outrageous. I got on Waverly last night. Maybe I should ask you guys. What I want is, I want 2 chairs that are kind of like, they'll kind of lean back, but they also swivel, and just some kind of table for in between. Do you guys have any idea where I can get that? Waverly, like for that, their prices are expensive. They have chairs that aren't too expensive. Big Lots had what I was looking for, but in the store, you couldn't just buy 2 and a table. And online, all the reviews said the cushions don't fit. And it was really hard to assemble. I don't want to assemble anything, so I'm not going to be getting those. So I went to Menards while I was watching the Miss USA pageant, and but then I just recorded the end of it. But then I figured out who won anyway, so I was like, all right, looked it up to see. I googled who won anyway. So she was one of my top 5 guesses. So I'm like, I'm not probably gonna watch any of it now. But I went to Menards and they didn't have the furniture that I wanted there. They have nice furniture, it's just really expensive at Menards. And I ran into a friend of mine, a sober friend. He and I sat there and talked for probably a half an hour. It was nice seeing him. And then Alex called, and Carlos and Liliana had come over and brought the kids, and he said they really want to see you. So I said okay, and so I said, well, how long are you guys going to be there? And he said, we're going to be here for a while. So I said, all right, I'll come over. So I came over. These bars are so good. I was asking Alex about the salads that he made, and he said he didn't do that until like after 2 months. And I said, I don't really remember you making a lot of meals at home. What did you do? And he said, I didn't trust myself with the meals, so I just ordered extra food. And instead of doing 5 in 1, I did all 6 of my meals were Optavia meals. And I was like, oh, okay. No, I didn't know that you could do that, but I guess you can. He said a couple other people that he had talked to had done that too. I don't really find myself craving real food. I find myself having my meal because that's what why is it not focusing? Come on. Because that's what the program suggests. Like today, I had my veggie burger, patty, and small salad like I always do. I'm kind of getting tired of that. I bought some egg beaters. Is it out of focus again? What is this camera tonight, you guys? I am so sorry. I bought some egg beaters when I was at Meijer the other night, like a huge container of egg beaters. Come on, camera. I'm never wearing this shirt to vlog again. I know it's because of the shirt, because that one time I wore that weird blue color. Do you guys remember the whole thing was like a reddish tint? It was so weird. Look at this. Why is it going in and out? Why will it not focus on me? Oh my god, I am so over this camera tonight. Let me stop it. Hold on. It's so weird that I do that, and I can't just stop it. I have to actually turn the whole camera off, and then when it comes back, it's like, it's weird. I don't know why it's doing that tonight. But anyway, so that's what Alex said he did. I mean, I guess I could do that sometimes, but then I would have to order some more food. But today I didn't find myself super hungry or anything, which was good. I got up today, Thursday, what did I do? I'm trying to think of what I did today. I got up today, went and got coffee, a bunch of errands and stuff that I had to do. I have so many emails, you guys. It is like unbelievable. Like I try to go through like 30 emails a day on each of my emails, but it's like so hard. I went to Meijer and I bought some of these post-it note things and this new notebook that I wanted. It's very cool. It has like a, oh, what do you call it? Like a, you know, like a thumbtack board that's like brown. I can't think of what that's called. The cork board. It has like a cork board cover to it. I love it. And then I bought these post-it note things because I'm always about getting organized, you know. And yeah, then I did that, and I've been listening to my book all day long. I'm trying to get done with the Evelyn Hugo book. Not because I want it to end, because I love it. It's not like a book that I want to finish, but because I really want to, like, you know, finish it. It's like so good. I want to find out what happens. I'm on chapter 54 right now, and I think I have like an hour and a half left. Well, because I listened to it so fast, I have like a total of an hour and a half left, but well, like on normal speed, I think I have like 3 hours left or something like that. So I'll probably finish it tonight or tomorrow. I don't know, I might have less than that. I don't know how much I have left. And let's see, talked to some friends on the phone, and just did a bunch of crap around the house. Filmed videos. Yeah, that was about it. Talked to Tanya for a while. It was just kind of a nice, relaxing day, but I had a lot of stuff to do. Just like stupid stuff. Do you ever just have like stuff like that to do that, you know? Somebody said on my vlog one time, they said something about like, you know, you should be lucky that you have like time during the week to run errands, because on the weekends it's so bad. I mean, I feel very grateful for that. When I go to places like Costco and stuff on the weekends, and it's so packed. I'm like, I don't know that I could like do my grocery shopping. But the thing is, like, I do go to the grocery store and stuff like that late at night, like on the weekends, but it's just like when I go, it's not super, super busy, you know, because I always go like at 10 o'clock at night or later, and it's just not that busy. So I woke up today and I was a little thinner, but yesterday I actually woke up and I was like and I hadn't done anything different with my diet. I think the night before was the night that I missed one fueling, and I was like 0.4 pounds, or 0.4 of a tenth pound up yesterday, and then today I was like down, but not a whole lot. And then I missed a fueling tonight because it was supposed to be when I was going home from Menards, and so I texted him. I was like, do you want me to, I said I have my fueling, but is it okay if I miss the fueling? And he was like, probably not, but I could tell that they really wanted me to come over there, so I was just like, whatever. So I probably screwed up my fat burn, but it is what it is. I'll get back on it. And but I'm still, you know, losing, even though it's slow. I knew it would slow down, which I'm totally fine with, just as long as it continues to move down, not back up again, you know? Which I can't imagine why it would when I'm eating like hardly any calories whatsoever. I just don't find myself very, very hungry, and it must be because I'm eating, you know, every 2.5 to 3 hours, because I'm just not that hungry, you know? Like the other night when I was talking about the White Castles and stuff like that, like I get cravings, but I don't find myself like hungry. Like not really at all on this whole diet. Maybe at the beginning a little bit, but not where like late at night where I'm like, God, I'm so hungry I can't make it till the next day. I don't feel like that at all. None whatsoever. Which I think is interesting. And probably because I'm drinking tons of water. Like, as soon as I finish this, I just fill it back up, and I'm carrying it with me like 24 hours a day. I just constantly am carrying these, so. So yeah, I'm feeling great on this diet. And then tomorrow I have this thing I have to do in the morning, and then I'm probably going to come home and make some videos and do some stuff like that. And then tomorrow evening, Alex and I have this event that we're going to. I may vlog some of that. And then, let's see. And then that's it for tomorrow night. And then Saturday, he works, and then he has this thing that he's going to on Saturday night with some of his friends, but this girl that he knows, she only had like a +1, and I don't honestly think it's something that I would want to go to anyway, but so I'm excited about him. It's something he's like wanted to go to forever, so he's really excited about that. So I don't know, Saturday night I'll probably do like a live stream, or maybe go out and do something with my sponsor or something like that. It's just like really hard for me to go out to eat right now. It's not that I can't do it. It's just that I almost like find myself not wanting to do it, you know, because it's like if I go, I mean, I can't really order anything, and unless it's, you know, my lean and green, which I have to be very, very careful about what I eat. So it's almost like I'd rather just go get coffee or something with somebody. And, yeah. This like local blogger here that I was talking about the other night, she's going to be at this thing tomorrow night, which is kind of cool. And Alex has met her, but I've never met her. So I'm really excited about that. And then she and I are going to probably have lunch next week sometime. It'd be kind of fun to meet some people here in Indianapolis that like do YouTube or Instagram or something. You know what I mean? Somebody that like does something like that, because I mean I have people that I talk to on the phone, you know, like a few YouTube friends, but other than that I don't really have people that you know what I mean, like it's not like that get what I do. It's not like it's that deep. I mean, I sit in front of a camera, but it is kind of like they get what I do, you know what I mean, a little bit. And so anyway, it'd be nice. She has a YouTube channel too. I'm sure we'll do something together sometime, because I asked her, I was like, do you want to film a video together sometime? She's like, yeah, sure. So she's very, very sweet. Or she seems sweet. I haven't met her yet, but she seems very sweet. All right, I'm almost to Tanya Jean, so I'm going to get off here, and then I will be back in just a little while to do more of the vlog. Bye. All right, I'm back to the vlog in the dark that nobody can, well, you can see it right now, but in a second, of course, the light will go down. Picked up Tanya Jean. She got a, put this cord away. She got a bottle of water, and I still have mine from earlier. We drove around and talked for a little bit, and now it is 12:58 a.m. and I'm gonna probably just vlog for like, I don't know, another 20 or 30 minutes. Like I said, it's gonna be short tonight, and then I'm going to go home and go to sleep because I want to get a good night's sleep tonight. Get a good night's sleep. Anyway, I was trying to think about what I wanted to talk about, and I don't even really know that I have anything to talk about. Tanya said it's supposed to be really nice this weekend. I asked her, I said, do you think $450 for 2 chairs and a table is expensive? And she said, yeah, I think it's outrageous. And I said, but I don't really know, like, where to go to get it. Like, I feel like I've looked everywhere online. I think I'm going to look at Walmart. Walmart online sometimes has really good stuff. I just don't want to, the thing is, I don't want to have to put anything together, because I'll mess it up. The one thing about ordering stuff on Waverly is that they deliver it and set it up. Have you guys ever ordered anything from there? It's really nice. So they order it, or they deliver it, and they set it up, and then they put it out there. I just want to have a nice little place to, like, read in front. Like, when it's raining, I can sit underneath there. I don't have to sit out in the back patio. So yeah, I need to figure that out. But I don't need to figure it out necessarily today. I'm kind of excited just to have an enjoyable weekend. I always like have these things that when I have things to go to, like I enjoy them, but like I always kind of don't want to go. Do you know what I mean? Are you guys ever like that with stuff that, you know, like if it's a wedding or anything, it's like, yeah, it sounds fun, but like I just like don't really like to get up and get put together and go to things. But then when I go, I always have a good time, you know? Please don't fall. So, I think allergies are bad this year because my throat's been itching. Even my tongue is itching. Tonight, I mean, tonight is probably the best that my voice has sounded in weeks. And Tanya goes, do you have a cold or something? And I go, what do you mean? She goes, well, your voice sounds deeper than usual. I said, Tanya, my voice has sounded like this for like 3 weeks now. I said, this is actually, you know, like a good night. We were talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. Saw somebody had their motorboat, do we say that? They had their boat in their driveway, probably getting ready to go put in the water for the summer. I'm gonna read a lot this weekend too. I've really done like almost nothing on this readathon. I feel like I've like been kind of just like going and going and going and going and going. Like today when I got home and I sat down, I didn't get home to start filming videos. I guess it was probably later. But then like, you know, I film a video and then I put it up on the computer and I render it. And if I have to throw in receipts and stuff like that on like the Peter Monn channel, it usually takes me a little while to, you know, like to trim the receipts, to find the receipts, to this bottle. There you go. To watch people's videos, to go on Twitter, to go on to Instagram, like record all that stuff, you know, copy it down, and then make the video, and then I have to insert all that stuff in there. So that video usually takes me probably a little bit longer to do. But sometimes, like, and I don't mind it because I really enjoy doing all this stuff, but like, if I don't have anything to do, it doesn't really matter. But why is it just came on so hot and I haven't set to 67? I don't want it too hot in here. I'm gonna put it on 70. But sometimes, especially like tonight, like Alex didn't get off till late. So when I was working, I was like, on the videos, it's like time goes by and all of a sudden, you know, it's almost 8 o'clock and I'm like, oh my God, where did the time go today, you know? And honestly, I could have kept on filming videos. I wanted to actually, I did a story time on my Peterisms channel and I wanted to do a meditation on there too. I was gonna film 2 videos for that channel today. And by the time that I was getting everything up, it was just too late. And then I just realized, when I was sitting in Tanya's house in the driveway, I was like looking through my stuff. I just realized that I never published my review video. So I'm like, I'm just gonna save it for tomorrow. Please tell me that I published my vlog. Typically, if I don't, somebody tweets me and says, like, where's your vlog for tonight? I need to pull in here really quick and make sure that I published my vlog. You know, a couple times this year I've forgotten to publish it until like 3 o'clock in the morning. Let's see. Yep. Man, those haters are on it today. I got 17 dislikes already. Oh, Melody, thank you. Melody said, first time watching the vlog channel, and not gonna lie, it's kind of calming to listening to you. What? Why do Tucker and Boo always look so oily and dirty? Do you only bathe and groom them twice a year at most when you board them with Tanya for vacations? What does this person say? Wait, but this is actually so rude. If you truly think Peter would only bathe his beloved dogs twice a year, then maybe you should see yourself out of the wolf pack, said Megan. No, we don't only we groom them when we take them to boarding, which is probably the way that we've done vacations. It's probably been like every 2.5 months. But no, that's not the only time that we bathe them. But thank you for being concerned. Do you know what's really funny is, for as many dislikes as I get on my vlog, I never really get that many negative comments. Like, I was really surprised that one's even out there. But you do know, I will tell you this, if you know anything about dogs, it's not really good to bathe them that often. Like, actually, some of their natural oils is really good for their skin. I mean, I'm not saying this just to come back, but I'm just being honest. Like, it's really good for their skin and their hair. You're not supposed to bathe dogs too often. I've been told that by about every groomer I've ever gone to. Sometimes I forget to post it till like really late. What's funny is I'll have it done at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but I don't necessarily always like to post it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon because I know people typically watch the vlog later. And so, like, if the notification comes up, I know they can't watch it right then. And so I sometimes try to save it, you know, until like, shut up, till like 6 or 7, and then post it then. Do you know what the funny thing is about dislikes on a video? That whether it's a dislike or a like, it actually shows the same engagement on a video. So, like, the algorithm for YouTube, whether, like, if you give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, so while I'm talking about this, could you all go give it a thumbs up, because that makes me happy. But it doesn't really matter as far as the engagement on a video. It actually shows engagement. So like, let's say if you post a video and it has no likes and no dislikes, right? Then it isn't picked up in the algorithm. It shows that nobody's interacting with the video. But if you get, like, let's say 10,000 dislikes and 200 likes, you know, as much as it doesn't really make you feel very good about yourself, the reality is it shows that there's a lot of engagement on your video. And if you know any channels that people hate watch, and you go to their videos, they have a lot of dislikes. Like, their dislikes always almost outweigh or even to their likes. But it doesn't really matter because that shows a lot of engagement. And then what happens is that engagement then makes YouTube, like, it transitions into, what do you call it? Like, action on the video, and so then YouTube recommends those videos, and then actually those people that people don't like are recommended more, and then their videos are show up more in suggested videos, and then more people find them and follow them to like or dislike, whatever. But it really actually works for the person. So if you, for example, have a YouTuber that is hate watched, and they know they are, and they kind of monopolize on that, and the more dislikes they get, it's really helping them out. It's really helping to put money in their pocket and build them up and all that kind of stuff. So it's always interesting to me, like, if you don't like somebody's video, really the best thing to do is just not do anything at all, because you're not showing any kind of engagement on a video. But some people just can't help themselves. They have to let you know they don't like you, which is okay. Not everybody's gonna like us in this world, you know? Oh, man. My friend and I were in the middle of Menards talking about the importance of prayer and meditation. I love that, you know? Talking about peace and serenity and how important it is to us today, and talking about how helpful, because he knows my sponsor really well, and it was just nice. You meet people and they speak the same language as you, and you know what I mean, that you don't have to explain anything, because like we all kind of get it, you know what I mean, like we've all gone through the same things. We had fun over at Alex's mom's house tonight for his uncle's birthday, but we hung out. Carlitos, my nephew, is saying the Pledge of Allegiance tomorrow at oh my god, it really slid. That I can't. He's saying the Pledge of Allegiance tomorrow for his school over the, like, they put it, like, they're, you know, I guess they do like a video in the room, so he got chosen to do it because I don't know something, but it's like an honor to be chosen. And so his mom, like, recorded him practicing at home, and so he wouldn't do it for us. He was too embarrassed. And so we were, like, watching the video, and he's so sweet. And this was so funny when I came in. So I was sitting down, like, Carlos and Liliana were sitting on this one couch, and Alex and the kids and I were sitting on another couch. And so Carlitos goes, "T.O. Peter, guess what?" And I go, "What?" And I could hear my voice, right? And he was like watching one of my videos. He goes, "I watch all your videos, T.O. Peter." And I go, "I don't think you should probably be watching T.O. Peter's videos." And he goes, "Why not?" And I turned and I go, looked at Liliana, and she goes, "Peter, he doesn't even understand." And I go, I don't know, Liliana, that I think he should be watching my videos. She goes, "Okay, well, he doesn't understand what's going on. He just likes to see that you're on YouTube." And I was like, "Aw." And I said, "Carlitos," I said, "would you like, maybe you and I could review a toy for my review channel?" I said, we can go to the store and I'll buy you some toy that you want to review, something new, and then we'll review it for my review channel. Would you like that? He said, oh, I could be in a video? I said, yeah, we'll put you in a video and you can, you know, and your mom can be in the video too if she wants. And he was like, okay, can my dad be in the video? I said, your dad can be in the video, Tio Alex can be in the video, Sebastian can be in the video, everybody, Grandma can be in the video, Abuela, everybody can be in the video. So we're gonna do that. He's constantly watching like cartoons on YouTube. My sister-in-law said that he watches that Ryan's Reviews, which is like the #1 highest paid YouTuber, because he reviews toys. I found this channel. I was actually just like looking through Social Blade. So Social Blade's where you can, like, if you go to socialblade.com, you can put in any YouTuber and it'll show you like how many views a day they get, how many subscribers a day they get, and all this kind of stuff. It's actually very interesting. So whenever in like videos I say, oh, I went to so-and-so Social Blade, and you can see they're gaining or losing or whatever, and it gives you like an estimate of all these different things, which it's always off about some of the stuff. But so anyway, I was like going down and I was reading these channels, and there was this one channel, I have no idea what it's called. If you have kids out there, I'm sure some of you will know what I'm talking about. But it's this girl, and she has a vlog channel that she started, and it actually, the vlog channel did better than the main channel. So now she posts on both. But anyway, she's probably 4 or 5. She's real young. And it's like her and her parents. And like this video that I watched that was for like a couple days ago, she had like a birthday party or something, and it was like a princess birthday party, and she had like these princesses there, and her friends got to all dress up. Excuse me. And there's always like in the background all of this special effects noise, like wow, ooh, and stuff like that. And then like they had this guy there that was like drawing pictures of them, and the video was literally like 10 minutes long or something like that, and it had some ridiculous amount of views, like millions and millions and millions of views on it. And then her dad, like, she's like very kind of mean to her dad. That's kind of like the joke of the videos. Like none of it is like them talking really. It's all kind of like, it kind of almost reminds me of like silent film a little bit, so to speak, but it's not. I don't know how to explain it. But like, I guess like the gimmick is that she's kind of like a princess. And so she like is sitting there, and he brings in this, and she's like pouting, and then he brings in like this big dollhouse, and then she gets real excited and stuff. And I thought, oh my god, I bet little girls just eat this channel up. I bet they love this channel. No wonder it's doing so well. And I looked, and you look on there and see like estimate, her parents are literally probably making like unreal like $30-40 million a year off this channel. I was like, this is ridiculous. It is so highly edited, though. I'm sure they have like an editing team that does these videos, because it's not something that you could like just sit down on a computer and you could do unless you were like really trained to do this stuff. But man, and then I started looking through the Social Blade, and literally if you go and look in the top 500 channels, there are so many channels that are just for like directed at kids. So if you have a kid with a personality out there, start a YouTube channel, because I'm telling you, that's where the money is. I couldn't believe it. I was like blown away when I was looking at that. I mean, I knew some of those channels do very well, like the toy review channels, but I just didn't realize they did that well. It turned off my, I don't understand what's going on tonight in my car with my, there's a lot of people walking tonight. Tony and I noticed that earlier when they were walking there. There's a lot of people just like walking, and it's kind of like spitting rain right now. I don't think I would really want to walk in this rain. Tanya and I, it was funny, we were talking about this book. She finished Evelyn Hugo before I did, like a couple weeks ago. And it's so funny, like, you know, reading the same book that your best friend read, and you both love it, but you both had like an entirely different take on it, you know? And we were talking about this relationship in the book, and I was like, I just thought it was so beautifully done. And she said, I thought it was beautifully done too, but I thought it was toxic. And I was like, you thought it was toxic? She goes, oh, I definitely think that they had a toxic relationship. And she said, I think it was all about timing too. And she and I got in this long conversation tonight about timing in relationships, and if you like, maybe you're interested in somebody and then it's just not the right time. And I don't know, I think I've told this story on here before at length before, but, and I know I did another video about it on my main channel, but I dated this guy. So when I got out of treatment, I dated this guy, and he was kind of a real catch, and he still is a real catch. And but anyway, when he and I broke up that spring, I was taking 2 film classes. I was taking French film and I was taking intro to film and French film, and because I decided I wanted to minor in film studies. It was like 4 classes I had to take to minor in it. So I was taking this intro to film class, and there was this guy in my class, and he sat right in front of me. I had no clue he was gay, and he was super cute. And I, at the time, would have been like getting ready to turn 23, and I think he was getting ready to turn 20. And he had like curly hair and these little round wire rim glasses. And I remember the first time I ever saw him, he had on like this green and white, like long sleeve shirt that was from the Gap, I found out later. Then he wore this cologne from Bath & Body Works that was called Woodland. I loved this cologne. I wore it for a long time. It was real cheap, and I wore it for years, and he always just smelled so clean and fresh. But we would take breaks. Like, we would watch these movies, and then we would take breaks. And I was telling Tanya the story tonight, even though she had heard it before, but anyway. So we were outside, and there was like 3 or 4 of us smoking. This one day, it was like, this is probably like the 3rd day, because, I know this would have been the beginning of summer 1. I think it was the summer semester, so it would have been like April, end of April that it started, maybe, I don't know. But it was a shorter, so it was only like 6 or 8 weeks, something like that. And it was like the 2nd or 3rd day, and so we were outside and we were all smoking cigarettes. There was like 5 of us, and then it was like he and I and these 3 girls, and they went inside. And so it was just he and I standing out there talking. He was like, I think I'm gonna have another cigarette. And I said, I am going to too, before I go up. So it was just like the 2 of us sitting there talking, completely off my radar. I didn't think anything about it. And all of a sudden he starts asking me about these movies. He's like, yeah, what are some of your favorite movies? And I'm like telling him whatever, and he's like, yeah, have you ever seen the movie Jeffrey? Well, Jeffrey was this gay movie that had literally come out like the year before, I think. And I was like, yeah. And then he's like asking me, he keeps on asking me all these movies, and they're all gay movies. And I looked at him and I go, are you trying to tell me that you're gay? Or I said it kind of funny or something. I was a little bit more brazen back then. And he goes, yeah. And he goes, but I didn't know if you were. And I was like, are you serious? So anyway, we started talking, and I mean to tell you, within like a day or 2, we were spending, like, any minute that we weren't like at school or he was working or something, we were spending every minute together. And I, at the time, so I got sober in December, and this was probably like April and May, or April. It was 2 months about that we dated. And I was telling Tony this, like, this is like, not that people really want to know the intricacies, but this is like the really weird thing about it is, we never even really did anything like that serious, like, intimately. But I remember we just like would sit up on my couch. The camera shut off, and I have no idea where it shut off, so I was talking about, I don't know, but I was telling about how, because it was at the end of the thing, we would stay up for hours, and like he would come over at like 9 o'clock at night, and we would sit there, and I'd be at like one end of the couch, and he'd be at the other end of the couch, and then like, we'd have our like legs over each other, and I'd play a CD, then he'd play a CD, and we'd be introducing each other to music, and then we just like, I would make a pot of coffee, just like one after another, and we would just drink coffee constantly and smoke cigarettes and just talk like all night long, and then all of a sudden realize it was like, like 5 o'clock in the morning, and we're like, where'd the time go? And then, we would like go into my bedroom and go to sleep and, kind of like make out until we went to bed. And it was nice, it was nice and it was comfortable and it just felt right. And, we were intimate. It just wasn't the focal point of our relationship. Like, that wasn't what it was about. You know what I mean? And it was supernatural when it happened. Like, it was a nice, all of it. The relationship was just nice. And just, God, every day I wanted to know more and more about him, And so we, dated for, just 2 months. It was very short, and we spent, almost every day together. And the one thing was, towards the end, was that, so he was kind of a big pot smoker, and I'm sober, and I'm in recovery, right? And I don't recommend this to anybody. I don't recommend anybody date somebody that hardcore uses substances while you're dating them. And I didn't really know. I couldn't smell it on him, but, he'd be hanging out with friends, and sometimes he would show up late. This started happening at the end. He'd say, I'll be there at 9, and then he'd show up at, 10:30. And I'd be like, what's going on? And I could kind of tell he was high, and I'd be real frustrated, and it kind of caused some fights. And then, he really tried hard. When we were dating, he would be like, because I would say to him, I don't want you over here if you're high. I just don't. If you're getting high is more important to you than hanging out with me, then you need to go hang out with your friends and be high, and then I'll just see you another day. And if this continues to be consistent, then I don't think this is what we need to do, right? And he would try so hard, that would happen, once, and then for the next 4 or 5 nights, he would always just, be there, and, we would hang out and go out, we didn't do anything fancy. It was cheap. We'd, walk down the street and, go to the gas station and get chips and salsa and stuff, or whatever, and just sit on the couch. It was just, we take walks. I remember we took a lot of walks. It was just really nice. And so, anyway, I loved this man. I loved him so much, and we told each other that we loved each other pretty early on. It was kind of just we felt it, but he wasn't out to his family, and his family was really anti-gay, and it wasn't even because they were really religious, because they weren't. It was just they were really anti-gay, and he had tried to kind of come out to them, and they really wouldn't accept it. And so he tried to come out to his brother, and I don't really know what happened, but even his brother wasn't real accepting of him. And he was in a band, and he played bass in a band, and so he wanted me to come because he had written a song for the band, and it was called St. Peter, and he was playing at this festival for 4th of July. So he wanted me to come, and I remember I came, and a friend of mine, and I sat there and I listened to him play it, and I afterwards I couldn't go up to him. He was my family's not going to understand, and I just can't, and I was I understand, I dated 2 people, that I don't really call, serious relationships, that weren't completely 100% out to their family. They were out to their friends and stuff, but because he was out to his friends, but that were out to their friends, but that weren't out to their families and stuff. And that was kind of I understand how scary that can be. I totally do. And I am not a believer in telling somebody when they should come out. I think that's a choice that people need to make on their own. But there was a time when I decided that I wasn't going to date people that if they weren't out. I just didn't want to deal with that anymore. Not being able to be around people's families, not being introduced, being kept a secret, that kind of stuff. I just didn't want to, I didn't want to be that to somebody, you know what I mean? And so anyway, he and I dated for 2 months, and it was great. And then there was a weekend where we hung out the whole weekend, and he got very, very weird, and was just kind of sad. It was so strange. In retrospect, this car is acting so strange. It's weaving and changing lanes. I hate when cars do this, when I'm it makes me nervous, because there's literally no other cars out here, and I'm what is it doing? Somebody's just straight up looking on their phone like this. Pass by. But anyway, that last weekend he was acting really strange. He just was really sad, and he would say things to me you know how much you mean to me, right? And I was yeah. And And he would say, I know, like 20 years down the road, you'll have written a book, and I'll walk into some bookstore, and you'll be there, and, like signing autograph or signing the books or whatever. And I'm like, Todd, we'll still be together. I was always idealistic like that in relationships, that I would be with the same person forever. I was like, Todd, we'll still be together. And he was like, oh, no, and it was so weird that weekend, I remember. And so then, like, that Sunday night or Monday, I can't remember, but he called me and he was like, can you meet me at Denny's or something? And he was like, I think we sat down and talked about it. I don't know. I mean, I was 23 years old, It's been 23 years right now, almost 24. We talked about it, and he said, I want to go to IU. I got my credit, because he had told me that his plan was to transfer to Indiana University in Bloomington. He wanted to go to a campus school and stuff, and I said, I understand that. So, like, that had always kind of been the thing, and I knew that. And so he was like, well, I really want to transfer to IU. And I was like, okay. And he was like, I just don't think it's going to work, like us doing a long-distance relationship. And he's like, I'm not going to be coming up here to visit my parents on a regular basis. I just don't want to. And he said, the only reason I'd be coming up is to see you. And he said, and I just don't want to make that commitment. And then all of a sudden, I feel like I have to come up here, or you're wondering why I'm not, or you're wanting to come down there, or you're feeling like you have to come down there. And it just was like this mess. He's like, I just don't think, basically, it's not our time. And I said, I want you to be happy. I love you. I don't want to stand in the way of what it is you want. So if you need to go to IU, I understand that. And down the road, if we keep on talking and we decide we want to have a long distance relationship, we'll do it, He was really against having a long distance relationship, which Bloomington's literally about less than 2 hours from Indianapolis. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's like an hour and 40 minutes. So, and I was heartbroken. I was absolutely heartbroken. And I said, listen, if you don't, he said, I want to be with you more than anything, but I want to go to IU. I want to, study writing down there and literature. And he was like, I don't want to stay in Indianapolis. He was living with his parents. He said, I hate living with my parents. He said, I don't think we're at a point where we're going to move in with each other, which I probably would have let him, but, And so he was like, I just think, if this is what I want to do. And I was like, I respect it, And we stayed talking. Like, we kept talking after that. He went down to IU, and we talked, and we kept on talking. But then it kind of faded away. He wrote me. I have had many people in my life write me love letters, of which I have all of them in my basement. I always thought someday I would, publish them, like in some book. I always had this dreamy notion that I become so famous and that people would want to that I become some famous author and that people would want to publish my love letters. What a joke, But I have all of them downstairs, and he wrote me the most incredible, poetic love letter I've ever received in my entire life. So he goes to IU, and that happens. And then late that fall, is when I met my very first boyfriend that I consider my boyfriend. We were together for almost 5 years. At about 2 years of being there into the relationship, something like that, my boyfriend and I, we were thrift store shopping one day. And it was maybe 3 years into it. And we were at this thrift store, and I look over, and I'm looking at some shirts, and I look up, and I look over. Have you ever felt like somebody's watching you? And I look over, and Todd's standing there, and he's looking at me. And I'm like, oh my God. I think he was there with 2 girlfriends or something. And he came over, and he was gave me this huge hug. And he was like, how are you? And I was like, it was funny. Todd was a little bit taller than me, probably 2 or 3 inches taller than me, and real broad shouldered, kind of built almost like a basketball player or something. He was kind of broad shouldered, but gangly. Like, just always kind of like falling over his legs and stuff. And he was like a skater. He always has a skateboard with him, you know, and like big baggy jeans and stuff. But anyway, I remember he used to wear these green, the brand was Simple shoes. These like skate shoes. I loved them. Anyway, so he gave me this big hug, and we're standing there talking for a second, and like, I kind of forgot my boyfriend was even at the store with me for a second, and he was like, how are you? And I'm like, I'm good. And he was like, oh my God, I'm so happy that I ran into you. And he had lost my number. And so my boyfriend walks up, and I'm like, you know, awkward central. And I introduce him to my boyfriend. And I remember we just kind of looked at each other like, you know what? It's just not the time. This is not the time. So then time goes on. And my boyfriend at the time, he and I break up, and I reach out to Todd again. Now it's my turn, okay? And Todd is in Bloomington getting ready to move to San Francisco to go to get his master's degree. And he has a very serious boyfriend at the time. His name is Jonah. And so they are moving out to San Francisco. And he's really excited about it. He's like, oh my God, and I would love for you to meet Jonah. You would love him. And he's just like, he's just so good for me. And he was like, you guys look a lot alike, and I always think that. And he's like, I even tease him about that, and he's heard all about you, which I have since seen pictures of Jonah, and we do look a lot alike. A lot. And so anyway, and he was like, are you just calling like to catch up? And I was like, no, not really. And he was like, well, what are you calling for? And I said, I was actually calling to see if you were with somebody or if you're single, you know? And he goes, no, I'm not. I'm very happy right now. And I said, well, I'm really happy for you. And I was, you know? Because when you love somebody, that's what you do, you know? You want them to be happy, even if it's just not right for you. And I think we knew again. It was another thing of horrible timing, you know? So, you know, at that point, I had met him when I was 22, going on 23. And then that was probably 5 years later. So I would have been, well, actually, yeah. So that was, I would have been 28, going on 29, something like that. 27, going on 28, somewhere around there. And that's when we talked. And then he moved to San Francisco, and he got a master's degree. And we would talk from time to time. Like, not very often, but every once in a blue moon, we would talk. Maybe every 3 years, something like that. And he was really having some trouble in his relationship, and he reached out to me. And I was dating my ex, and I said, like, he was very forward. Like, he was ready to, like, I don't really know, honestly, in retrospect. I don't know what was going on with he and his boyfriend, but I just think there was so much craziness in their life, and I think he was looking for some kind of safe escape. I have often had boyfriends that I've broken up with later come back to me and say, like, I mean, this has happened to me probably 3 or 4 times, but where they've come back to me and said, you know, like, either 6 months later or 3 years later, come back and say to me, you know, like, I didn't really realize what I had with you. Like, you really like to have a home, and you like to just be settled, and, you know, like, that's what you like, and you were offering me that, and I didn't want that at the time, and I didn't realize how much I really wanted that, you know, but I had to go through what I went through it. And I think that he was kind of craving that. Like, he and his boyfriend were, like, they were very, very much in love. And at some point, because this was around the Proposition 8 time, at some point they had gotten married because of, like, health issues, like having health insurance and stuff, because I can remember talking to him about that on the phone. So anyway, I don't know when it was. It was towards the end of my ex and I being together, probably like 2 years before that. He called me, and it was literally like in the middle of the night, and he was just like inconsolable on the phone. And I was like, Todd, what is going on? And he was like, Jonah passed away, like, he's gone. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, the dog is gone, Jonah's gone, they're all gone, and blah, blah, blah. He was like, and I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, the dog passed away, and we were dealing with that, and blah, 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 blah. And he was like, and then Jonah passed away, and he wasn't making any sense, and I didn't really understand anything about it. And so, like, I calmed him down and stuff like that. And I can remember my ex was like, what is going on here? And I was like, I mean, he knew who he was. And so, like, I was explaining to him what had happened, and he was like, okay, if you need to talk to him, whatever. He was very cool about the whole thing. And so I'm talking to Todd in the living room, and he's just, like, talking all this craziness, and I don't understand any of it, right? So then I didn't hear from him, like, at all. And then my ex and I break up. And I call him, and we had some amazing conversation. We talked on the phone for like 3 hours. Like, I legit thought, like, I like wanted him to fly home that day, and we were going to get back together. And we were both like, this is the relationship that was meant to be. And we've literally waited. And I'm now at that point, 35 years old, going on 36. And this has been going on since I was 23 years old. Okay. So I am ready for this relationship. I've been waiting for this relationship, and the timing was never right. And we had this fantastic conversation. He sent me pictures of himself and this really funny letter, and it just was so cool. And he was so happy, and he was like, he had this dream job. He was writing reviews for some major gaming magazine for video games, and he was like making good money, and he was doing art on the side and writing creatively on the side, and he just was having the time of his life and everything was going great for him. And so he sent me this letter, and it just like everything was great. And then it was like a week later, I talked to him on the phone, and it was like everything was horrible, and it was depressing, and he just didn't know how he was going to go. And then 2 days later, I would talk to him, and it was great again. And like, then a week later, it was depressing, and I just don't even want to be here some days. And I had no clue what was going on. And it was just this up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. So that after my mom passed away that summer, he and I were talking, and he said, I think I'm going to move home. And I was like, what do you mean? And his parents at that point had moved to like the Bloomington area. And he goes, I think I'm going to move home. And I said, home with your parents? And he goes, no, I want to move home, but I think we should try to make this work. Well, I mean, like, at that point, I had been sober. I had been single since, that December. And this is probably June, July at this point. And I'm like, I don't really know that I want to be in a relationship either. I mean, anyway, like, when I met Alex in August, I wasn't even like really sure I wanted to be in a relationship. So this is like into June, July, and he's just wanting to move here and move in with me. And we're gonna, like, now after all this time, we're just gonna set up family. And I was like, well, he goes, I'm coming home for a couple days, and I want to see how it's going to be with my parents. And they had never really, like, nothing had really ever reconciled between them, like, as far as what he told me. Like, it just always was not good with them. But he wanted to see, like, he had, like, I think he had some, like, nieces and nephews, and he wanted to come home and be closer to all of them and stuff like that. And I was like, okay. And at least that's why he said he was coming. He goes, I just think I need to be home. Like, and I was like, okay. And I think, like, in retrospect, I wish I kind of, like, would have seen that. I think I would have gotten it, So he comes home, and he's like, well, why don't you drive down here and get me, and we'll go and we'll, like, meet up and talk and stuff. And I was like, okay. So I went down there, and I drove to Bloomington on an afternoon. It was like late afternoon, and I picked him up, and we went out to this lake down there in Bloomington, and we went and we sat on this dock, and we got like coffee or something, and went and sat on this dock. I remember he got in the car. The first thing I remember is that the smell was like just grossly and it just intoxicating. It was like horrible of him sitting in my car. It was like literally like he hadn't bathed in like 2 weeks. The second thing I noticed was that he had lost literally probably about 60 pounds. He looked emaciated. And his teeth were like really bad. And he always had really beautiful teeth. Like, that was like just this beautiful smile. And his teeth were just really bad. And he was just, like, edgy, like, nervy. And I, like, right away, I was like, he's a meth addict. Like, I was like, immediately, I was like, he's hooked on meth. Like, there's something going on here. So anyway, we sit out there. It broke my heart. I just was like, what do I do? You know? And so we sat on this, like, we had a lot of conversations through the years talking about my sobriety. I never knew the extent to anything to do with drugs with him, but I knew that it was always kind of a constant in his life. I just didn't know to what level. And I had begged him on many occasions to do something about it and get some help for himself. I offered to help him. I offered to, do all that. And it just was always like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's no problem. I don't know what you're talking about. So we're sitting out there, and he's talking about, like, how he's going to move here and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, I cannot have this in my life. Like, I just can't. Like, I just buried a mother, and, I finally got, some stability in my life again. And, like, I got out of this relationship, and I still kind of miss him. And, I'm not even, like, 100% myself yet. And now here I'm going to move this in, and, like, the thing that was so hard was I loved him so much. Always loved him, But I knew what it was that was sitting in front of me. And he wanted me to fix that, and I couldn't fix it. And I knew that. And I even said some things to him that night. I was like, well, first of all, I said, well, what's going on with your teeth? He was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, what's going on with your teeth? And he was like, well, I was in a fight in a bar. And I said, Todd, come on now. I said, it's not a fight in a bar. It just isn't. Like, let's be for real. I don't know what you're talking about. Why are you so superficial? You're so superficial now that you care about my teeth. His teeth were so bad, like, I don't know who he thought he was fooling. Like, I mean, it was literally like those pictures that you see of people that are on. It broke my heart. It literally broke my heart. And he was like, he would not be honest with me. He would rather hold to his stories. And if he wasn't honest with me, I couldn't be part of it. I just wasn't willing to. And so we were like going back or something, and he's like, you're so superficial and you care about my teeth and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, I do. I do care about that kind of stuff. And I just was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I can't get him help, or anything like that. So anyway, I took him back to his parents' house, and he got out of the car and he said, don't ever contact me again. I don't ever want to hear from you again. And I didn't. Because, and I feel horrible for how I ended things, So, this is the age of Facebook at this time, and we'd already, I think, been following each other on Facebook at that point, and so he didn't block me or anything like that, but he rarely ever posted anything, and I just really never knew what happened with him again, I would look on his Facebook every once in a while, and he didn't post, like, hardly ever. And one day I kind of forgot. I just kind of forgot. He was a story to tell of somebody that I had loved a long time ago. And then about 4 years ago, I was at a friend of mine's house, and she was early in sobriety. She was like 2 years sober, and she and I hung out a lot, and she has 2 little kids, and so like they were with their dad for the weekend because she was divorced. And so like on the weekends that she was single, when the weekends that her kids were with their dad, we would hang out. We would like go to a meeting at like 8 o'clock, and then we would go to we always went to what's that place called? God, it's right up here. I was just thinking about it the other day because they have the best California club in the entire world, and it's like this turkey and everything. They put it on a croissant. Why can't I think of what it's called? Shoot. I mean, it's a total chain restaurant. Why can't I think? It's like an Applebee's, but it's not an Applebee's. I don't know what just happened to my car, but it completely just shut down. That was kind of scary. It doesn't matter. But anyway, and then we would go and we'd get a bunch of candy and cookies, and we'd go back to her house. And she doesn't live in the same house anymore. She actually moved into like this bigger 2-story house because her daughter just wanted to have 2 stories, and so she finally moved in this 2-story house because her daughter wanted to have it be on the 2nd floor. But anyway, but she had this kitchen. It was so adorable, and she had it painted blue, and we would sit in there and she'd make a pot of coffee, and we would just talk for hours. And then we moved into the living room, and I remember we were sitting there talking, and I was telling her the story, and I said, oh my God, do you want to see what he looks like? And I pulled open my phone, and I went to his Facebook, and it was like, the first post was like rest in peace, I miss you. And it was like dated 2 years before that. Like he had been gone for like 2 years. And I was like, what? I literally had like this weird kind of meltdown situation on my friend's couch. I remember I went home that night and I told Alex, and I was telling him about him. And he goes, well, you can still be with him if you want. I go, Alex, you didn't even let me get to the end of the story. He's dead. And I didn't even want to be with him anyway because I was with you. But I've said. So anyway, I had actually like reached out to this friend of his on there that was like, she had written a lot of things about his passing, and she had said that there was no funeral, there was no obituary because his parents didn't want one. I don't understand that. And so I reached out to her and I said, you know, like I explained who I was. I said, you probably never heard of me. She was like one of his best friends. Like they lived next to each other in San Francisco, and like he was kind of like the uncle to her son because she had a little baby, and then like he grew up like around Todd and Jonah. And so I wrote her and I said, I'm sure you've never heard of me, but like, you know, Todd and I were very close to one another, you know, at parts of our lives, and he was very dear to me. He meant a lot to me, and I just wanted to find out more of what happened, and, you know, like how he had passed away. And she said, you know, I don't really know. She said he was very sick at the end, and she said the last year he was really, really sick, and she speculated about drug use and maybe some other things, but she said it wasn't drugs at the end that it was about. And she said, when his boyfriend Jonah died, she said they were so happy together, and then when he died, she said, he kind of fell apart. She's like, the dog had died before, and then Jonah died. He just couldn't really do it anymore. He couldn't hold it together anymore. And she said, and then he went home, and I kind of stopped hearing from him over time, and then I just heard through mutual friends that he had passed away. And she was like somebody that was like really, really close with him. And she said, but Peter, she said, I do know who you are, and he talked of you often. And she said, and I know that you were very, very dear to him as well. So sometimes timing sucks, you know, and I love my husband, and I wouldn't trade him in for anybody. I really wouldn't. And maybe I was never supposed to be with Todd, really, you know? Maybe I was only supposed to have those 2 months that one summer. I sometimes like to think that. I still pray for him every night, and I still think that he deserved to have an obituary and a funeral, because I think everybody deserves that. He was one of the most kind-hearted people I'd ever met in my entire life. And I think in some kind of way it's good that, you know, like, I don't know, like, I'll forever remember him, like, sitting on my couch, like, laughing, and his hair, like, curly, and it's funny to think, you know, that I would know him now in his 40s. But yeah. I sometimes feel like he's watching over me a little bit. I think there was also like a really seedy, kind of dark side to his life that he didn't want me to see. And I think that when we met, like, he knew I could see that, and he just wouldn't be honest with me about it because he didn't want me to see that. Yet I think that he wanted me to save him from that. You know what I mean? Like, I think he wanted me to, like, take him out of that. And, I mean, because if he had said to me, like, I want to get help, I want to get sober, like, I don't want to live this life anymore, I would have helped him in a heartbeat. Like, in a heartbeat. But he couldn't even admit that there was anything going on. And it wasn't like I had any kind of proof or anything. Anyway. He was one of the good ones. And you know, I think, like, in retrospect, looking back, I'm really happy that he experienced love, you know? Because I do know, like, he and his boyfriend were together, like, 10 years. And they had dogs together. And they were really happy together. And they really loved one another. I mean, he really loved his boyfriend. And I know that. And I'm really happy that he got to experience that, you know? I have that song downstairs somewhere that he wrote me, St. Peter. He wrote it out, all the lyrics for me. I have it full. He, like, handed it to me like in a note. You know, like when you take, like, you know, just, like, notebook paper and you write stuff on it and then you, like, fold it over. He, like, yeah. You guys want to see a picture of him? There's nobody out here. Let me see if I can pull him up really quick. He's the first thing that comes up when I pull him up. That's kind of funny. Now they have this stupid remembering him. I hate that they do that. People are wishing him a happy birthday in 2017. Oh, it doesn't even have any... Oh, here's photos. Albums. Profile pictures. This was Todd. Cute, isn't he? Here he is again. That's a really good picture of it. Kind of smelled like the rain. It was weird that it's raining when I'm telling that story. I always thought he kind of smelled like, he always smelled kind of like wet earth. I think it was that woodland cologne, you know. Any of you have one of those out there? I think that's why it's important to have closure in relationships, you know? If you can, in as most civil way as possible, you know? I remember my ex and I, you know, like, he and I are fine. We've had so many conversations, like, even though I haven't talked to him in a couple years, but I remember, like, 6 months after he and I broke up, like, we talked, and he said, you know, Peter, he goes, if you hadn't done it, I was going to. Because I walked in that day, and he looked at me and he goes, like, I just walked in from working all day, and he's like, you need to make a decision. We're either, this is going to work, or, I mean, we hadn't even talked about it. I didn't even know what he was talking about. He was like, we're either going to, like, last, or we're not going to last. Like, we even need, this is going to work, or it's not going to work. And I just looked at him, and I'll never forget, like, the bag just fell from my shoulder, and I said, I think it's over. And I was so hoping to just make it to Christmas, because I thought if we could just make it to Christmas, we love Christmas. Like, Christmas, if we can make it to Christmas, it'll be fine, because we were going to Gatlinburg with my mom, you know. And 6 months later, you know, like, he said to me, we were talking on the phone, and he said, Peter, I was so miserable in the relationship too, like, you know, like, you weren't happy, I wasn't happy, we weren't making each other happy anymore. And he said, if you hadn't left, I would have left, you know. And I think that understanding that there was a point in our relationship where it was really salvageable too. I just want to say that, like, I've always said that if we had gotten into counseling like 2 or 3 years before, like, it would have been salvageable, but we didn't. And then it just, I mean, and we never, like, it never got to a point where we were like screaming and yelling at each other on a daily basis. It was never anything like that. It just was, I just think that it just wasn't good, you know? And there was a lot of, like, anyway, it doesn't matter. But anyway, he's a good guy. And he's another one of the good guys. I feel like I've been so blessed to have only dated, like, really good guys. You know, I've dated one guy that was not good guy. But other than that, like, I mean, of the major relationships that I've had, like, my past 2 exes are really great. They're really great guys. And, so, yeah. But, I mean, in kind of, in a weird way, I'm happy that we were able to have closure, and then my ex before him and I were able to have closure, and, you know, I think that stuff's important. You know, it's why I'm happy that, like, with my aunt, like, I never left anything unsaid. With my uncle, I never left anything unsaid. With my mom, I never left anything unsaid. Because that's a form of closure, you know, that you want to have when somebody, you don't know the next time you're going to see them, or if you're going to see them again, you know what I mean? And if you don't ever get the chance to say those things to them, but it is what it is, and that's my life, and those are all the things that contribute to it, you know? But I think because of those things that have happened, I really try today not to leave things unsaid. Like, I try really, really hard to make sure that I say everything that I want to say. So, anyway, what a depressing vlog tonight. My God, you guys. It's your fault. You made me tell such sad stories in my life. Anyway, I said this vlog wasn't going to be long, and I have a feeling it's a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I have absolutely no idea how long it's going to be, but probably longer than 45 minutes, I'm going to guess, when I get home. I don't even really know what time I started vlog. I said 12:58, and it's now 2:03. Oh my God, so I've at least vlogged for an hour, and then I vlogged before that. I have no idea how long this vlog's going to be. So anyway, I'm going to get off here and go home and go to bed, because I've got an early day tomorrow. And I hope you guys are having an amazing Friday, an amazing beginning to your weekend, unless you have other plans. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Tell yourself that. Remember that you are worthy, you're important. And especially, I think, on the heels of me telling the story, tell somebody that you haven't told for a while how much they mean to you. Let them know how much they mean to you today. Tell them that you love them. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.